Very good evening, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Great. So, plans are far advanced, or plans perhaps are going to be in place very soon. But as has been said by the Minister in charge of tertiary education, in anticipation of the first batch of free SHS beneficiaries, what should this sort of plan entail? And as the communication has been done, from where you stand, is this proactive enough?
On a lighter side, plans are far advanced, plans are in the pipeline, are all political statements. So when those statements are made, then you know that the politician is showing up anyway on the other side. Yes, I saw the piece by the Minister of State in charge of tertiary education. And I must say it's a laudable one. And more so that they have looking at it in the long term. So they've started working at the modalities so that they will get things rightly put. But let me say that again, it said that he has met with managers of universities. Are we saying managers of all universities, or managers of private or public, or both? That is one clarification that one would need. Okay, so that going forward we'll look at the issues, because the SHS did not take the private schools into consideration. So that if the university will take the private universities into consideration, then the discussion and the dynamics will be different. Okay. Secondly, you're also going to talk about the courses that will be on offer. The courses that the students are going to offer in the university, are they going to get courses of their choice, or it's going to be a thing of they all being put into one particular course because that is what is available for them? I'm sure when we see the clearly spelled out policy as the minister is outlining, then we can speak to the specific issues.
But let's talk about some of the issues that he's raised. One has to do with expansion, for instance. From what you said, which is better in instances where we need to have more people or create space for more people? Is it better to expand the infrastructure of the already existing institutions, or is it also good to set up new ones with different focus? Because if you look at the numbers that University of Ghana, KMUS, and other institutions take, for instance, for social sciences, one would agree, or one would think that we have quite a good number already, and so we should maybe be setting up new institutions like what we had with the University for Development Studies, University for the Natural Resource, University for Health and Allied Sciences, and all that. Should we not be doing that, opening up, rather than expanding the already set up institutions like University of Ghana and KNUST and all that?
Okay, good. I think if I understood, or if I recall part of his statement, he was talking about open universities, and then the fact that they're going to use technology in facilitating some of these courses. If that is, then you're going to say that they're going to have satellite campuses, and it may not one may not necessarily have to be physically present on a particular campus in order to undertake a university's program. If all that are going to be taken into consideration, then that will be another discussion altogether. But again, if they're going to involve the private universities, then we'll say that there will be space, because if you look at things, for a couple of years now, let's say 2 or 3 years now, enrollment from university into our private universities have gone down tremendously. So that if we're going to have our own students coming from our SHS to fill the space in the university, then we'll say that to some extent the private universities are going to have students to enroll, because they seem to have the infrastructure. Some of them, but they don't have the number of students that they wish to enroll in order to fill the spaces. Okay, so that if they're going to involve the private universities, that will be fine.
Maybe finally, before you take leave of us, the idea of open universities that has been put across is one that is very important. Here in Ghana, do you think that it's long overdue? And again, in terms of quality as an educationist, do you think that it provides the same level of quality, realizing that the sort of interaction that often we would get in normal classroom settings and all those things add so much to what we give to our students. Is this something that we need to be pursuing?
Of course, the physical presence of students, lecturers in a classroom, in a physical space, has its contribution, and that's the traditional university that we know. And I can tell you that if you compare that to online, the physical presence plays a lot of role, and it shapes the students better than what they do online. Okay, so the online is again for advanced countries. So it will work more for the advanced countries. It will work more for people who have already had first experience of walking into the university campus physically before taking courses online. Then they'll be able to appreciate it. Okay, so online for me, it's good. It's good by all standards, but whether that would help us bring these youngsters from secondary school, I mean 16, 17, 18 years, into that maturity we want them to, by sitting home and studying their university degree through open universities, I think it will be a bit of a problem for their age and their standard. And let me also say that again, we have to talk into detail about the courses, because I mean last week, this week in the news, the students who are applying to do the professional law program are going to court. Because what's the problem? The problem is because there's no enough space at our professional law training schools to absorb them. So if you're going to expand and open up and admit more people into the undergraduate, the LLB law program, and not give them access to do the professional, are you not going to give them half education? Or for those who want to do the sciences, do we have laboratories big enough to absorb the thousands that will be coming through? Or what are we going to do? But again, I'm happy that they've started a discussion now, so that before the time is due, they would have put all the necessary infrastructure into place. And I only pray that it will be a thing with the SHS where they say we have to start and shape it as we go along.
Very well. We're very grateful, Mr. Nii Armah Addy, for your time today on the show.